Welcome to the Nürburgring here in Germany. I've been in Europe for the last 2.5 weeks. I was at Le Mans last week and the week before that, just as a fan, although there were some networking opportunities there as well that hopefully will bear fruit over the next few years. Can't wait for you to see that stuff. But we're here at the Nürburgring with Hyundai and Bryan Herta Autosport, and I'm so honored that they invited me out here for what is one of the greatest races in the world, the 24 Hours of Nürburgring. It's so legendary. It's a frightening track. It's the green hell, 13 miles of pure racing delight. The fans here are so passionate. It really does feel like auto racing Disneyland. And one of the big stories, especially out of the Hyundai camp, that I think has been so interesting to follow, and I've been so privileged and honored to follow it from my first opportunity with Hyundai at Road Atlanta, where I had a great sit-down interview with Robert Wickens, where he expressed desire to go and race the Indy 500 someday. Now, that's a few years off in the distance, but as I've continued to relationship build with Hyundai, this brand, as well as Bryan Herta Autosport and Robert Wickens through stuff like the fitness camp in New York City, I've really seen Robert Wickens develop as an incredible spokesperson for this sport and someone who really is the real deal. So I wanted to talk to Rob, as this is his first Nürburgring 24-hour attempt here with Hyundai and Bryan Herta Autosport, about that challenge, about the challenge that Bosch and Bosch's motorsport division has to develop hand control technology for him through a system developed for braking with LMDH cars. And then, since he's been racing for Corvette in IMSA, what's next for Robert Wickens? I think it's a good story. I think you guys are going to want to listen to it. Robert Wickens, good to see you again.
Yeah.
It's a familiar car, somewhat unfamiliar setting, at least in terms of racing here at night. The Nürburgring 24 Hours, this has been a dream of yours. You're here, you're doing it. Tell me about it.
I mean, I think it's a dream of Indy drivers, right? It's such a grueling place, and I have so much experience on the Grand Prix circuit from my time in Junior Formulas, DTM, right? Like
a winner in DTM.
A winner in DTM, yep. Twice.
Twice.
Not to brag. First and my last were here. But yeah, the culture is always great here, right? Even when it was DTM weekends on the Grand Prix circuit, and you'd always hear the stories of like, oh, well, the 24 hours, like next level. And I got to experience it as call it a spectator. When I was with Mercedes, I was here for kind of race day, kind of saw the grid experience and all that stuff, and then frankly, I left and watched the race from home. So to get kind of a full taste of it here, I mean, you know, even what we've seen on day one, right? Like, saw people doing like keg stands and stuff in like the campgrounds on a Thursday. I was like, man, they're going hard. This is cool, and it's just such an awesome experience. And like you said, it's driving here at night. I've driven race cars at night, always well lit racetracks, right? And here you're solely just whatever your car gives you, that's what you got, and it was a humbling experience, but this place does it to you, whether if it's in the rain or if it's even in the dry. Like this, your ego gets put aside pretty quickly around here, and it's just like you're just like respect for the track, and just frankly, it's like survival every lap, and you're just trying to do the best you can with what you got, and just make sure you give the car to your teammate in one piece.
To do it in a familiar setting, the Hyundai Elantra TCR car, I mean, that's a car that you're so familiar with. I know it's a little bit different, a little bit more horsepower, different tire, but how comforting is that to be able to drive a car that you say, okay, I know this car, the track's just the different part?
Yeah, it helps, and obviously with Bryan Herta Autosport being here, running the car as well, you know, obviously I'm not racing in the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge Series this year, but to be, kind of back with my buddies, it feels great, and from, you know, still being integrated in with Hyundai and HMA, and you know, doing like the fitness camps in New York, and then getting ready for this race, working with my teammates and, you know, engineers, everything. It's been a great experience. Like you said, it's assuring, but yeah, you kind of forget about that. A race car is a race car at the end of the day, and it's really just trying to figure out the track. And I feel like every time I'm in the car, that's the weirdest thing, right? Is like you look at the schedule and it's like, oh, you have a 3-hour qualifying one and a 3.5-hour qualifying two. It's like, oh, we're gonna get like dialed in. And then You did 2 laps each driver, because a lap's 9 minutes.
9 minutes, yeah.
Not quite an 8-minute mark like our teammates are, but yeah, it's so like 2 laps takes 30 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. By the time you do the driver change, do the out lap, because you have to do like a full Grand Prix lap, and then you like skip over and then start like your Nordschleife lap. So it's you're 4 minutes of out laps before you even make it to the Nordschleife, and then you do 8 minutes on that thing, right? And it's like, maybe there's code 60s, maybe there's traffic, maybe there's double yellows, maybe there's whatever, and there's always, it's so rare just to get like a clean lap where you can just like work on yourself. And yeah, I did 2 laps in first quali, I did 3 laps in second quali, and so I had 5 chances to like improve each corner on the Nordschleife, right? The GP, I'm confident. Everyone's confident on it, right? You have runoff, it's safe. You know, you're like, hey, I can like brake late here because like, why not, right? But over there, man, it's like, if you're driving at like 100% on the GP, you're like 70% on the Nordschleife, and you're like, you feel like you're surviving. Like, it's just like, you're on just like this roller coaster. You're just trying to make it through the other part and like take a breath once you get to the straight, and then you get to the next section and you do it all over again, and it's like, it's just relentless. And driving at night was just like to the next level. So to do that yesterday at night practice and get my first taste of this car at night, I think was vital for my journey in the 24-hour. All my teammates have driven the 24 in the past, either last year or the year prior. So they all have night experience in this car and the track, and I didn't have any. So I'm proud that, one, I had this like unicorn session where I had all 3 laps were like no code 60s or double yellows.
Wow.
For all 3 laps somehow. Maybe I just didn't see them. But
If you didn't get called to the start,
I didn't get a penalty, so I think I'm fine. But yeah, and then there's just obviously normal traffic, 140 cars on track, right? So you're passing, you're being passed, and it's just it's survival. It's the most relentless 24-hour race, and we're not even into the 24 yet, right? It's just you're trying to make it through practice and qualifying. So it's been really cool.
You have a partnership with Bosch that's super, super important, obviously, with the hand control device that you have in your car. You're continuing to develop that. I understand this is the version 1, the version 2 is in the Corvette, and then there's a version 3 coming. Just kind of talk about that partnership and how important it is and how special it is to partner with Bosch, because they don't do a lot of athlete partnerships.
No, they don't, and I think I feel like I'm just very fortunate and very grateful, and I feel like I just have to make the most of this like rare opportunity that I have to have such a supporting partner behind me, and have several supporting partners like Hyundai, like General Motors, and like Bosch. So for me, to have these opportunities, and you know, there was times in hospital beds where I didn't think I'd get the opportunity, right? There was times when I was out of the hospital trying to drive, and I was like, maybe I'm just not going to drive again. Like, no one seems to want to do this. And it wasn't until, Hyundai and Bryan, Herta, and Sean Jones believed in it, right? And they gave me a chance. And we kind of just like hit the ground running, right? And with Bosch, what we're doing here, and how we're developing the electronic braking system that they use so well in the LMDH cars, repurposing it for hand control use, right? It's just such a cool piece of technology, and it's been such an awesome journey to like create something that hasn't existed prior. And even as a driver, like, it's very rare to like build something and cater it exactly to you, right? It's always like, especially in sports car racing, like you're always sharing a car with a teammate. So like your seat fit's a compromise, your setup's a compromise, this is a compromise. And then like, I'm just building like the brake system that I want out of something that never existed before. And it's, I don't know, there's times where I wish I could just push a hydraulic brake pedal down and not have to worry about that stuff anymore, but that's just not my reality anymore. So I think to have just such good people behind me and such clever, creative, and driven people at Bosch, to like what we've created in such a short period of time, to already get success at the end of the TCR season last year, and then to bring it all over here, and like this is like the true test of machine, right? There's a reason why every OEM tries to break production lap records, and right, it's like, it's just a wild place. And so yeah, what we're doing here, 1 lap of the Nordschleife's 20 laps of Road Atlanta or whatever it is, right? So
it's insane.
And like for me, what I'm learning with this system is I'm still trying to get that like dexterity of like that 0 to 20% braking. I think it's easy to get 100% brake pressure and just like go straight into the Bosch anti-lock braking and just like use the system, right? Yes. But when you're just trying to do that like finesse and roll speed and like, and that's a like 80% of the Nordschleife is just like fourth, fifth gear corners where you're like barely braking and you're just like flowing in 200 plus kilometers an hour everywhere. And I have this tendency of always doing like too much initial pressure, and then I overslow the first bit, and then like you never make it back. So you're just kind of like slow through the whole section. So trying to just to get that dexterity, and we're continuing to work with some like mapping stuff to try to give me a little more like braking feel at the beginning, because obviously I only have so much like movement, right?
Right.
So we're trying to just calibrate everything that we can.
Looking ahead to the future, because with this technology and as it develops and as it gets better and as it gets more compact, you're obviously driving in the Corvette this year in IMSA in the sprint races, but looking ahead to the future, where do you want to see this technology take you in racing?
Honestly, David, where I want it to take me is just to be a full-time driver at the highest levels of motorsport. And for me right now in this journey, I think it's the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. And if I could prove that I belong, I think when you get to those levels, like there's no freebies. Like you have to earn everything. And for me, I've done 2 races now, Long Beach and Laguna Seca. We got my home race at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park coming up. And then I only get 2 more after that. I'm only doing 5 sprint races this year. So I feel like my sample group of proving that I can do it is small. So we have to make the most of every opportunity. And frankly, we failed to do that in the first 2. So hopefully we can turn the corner with 3 more races left for me in the Corvette and try to prove that I deserve a full-time chance, and to do the 24 hours of Daytona, 12 hours of Sebring, right? Like the list can go on and on. There's so many cool races in that championship, and but that's kind of priority 1, right? And then once I'm full-time, it's like then you can start thinking about maybe we can fight for a championship, maybe we can like really fight for like week in, week out podiums, and then from there you never know, right? But I think I'm a strong believer that to progress forward in anything, you have to succeed at the step that you're at. And if I never won a championship with Bryan Herta Autosport and the TCR and Michelin Pilot Challenge, like I don't think I would have gotten the WeatherTech opportunities. Like I think you had to show that you can put together a campaign, because it's so competitive and it only gets more competitive the higher you go, that you got to win. It's a ruthless industry. It's a result-based industry. It doesn't matter if you didn't win because of a reliability issue, a bad yellow, whatever. It's like a win's a win, right? And when you're trying to submit your CV for the next job, they just see the results, right? And I think that's just the reality of the industry, the reality of sport in general. So we just have to try to do what we can.
At the end of 24 hours, what is going to, when you take the plane ride back home, what's going to be a successful weekend for Robert Wickens here?
From what I've heard from everyone else that has done the 24 hours in Nürburgring, it's make the end. Try to do 24 hours, right? Like, I have former teammates and friends that this is like their 10th, 12th, like Nürburgring 24, and like their cars never made the finish.
Wow.
Right, and it's like, it's just such a grueling race. And like the 3 laps they did at night, like even when you're just by yourself, like you're just trying to just make it, right? You're not, like there's no like cruise control moment of this race. Like it's just like full push, just full focus the whole time, and one last judgment can just make or break your race. And what's rare about this race, because of the duration of the track, there's no safety car.
Yep.
So if you lose 10 seconds in a pit stop, that's just 10 seconds you'll never get back. If you lose a lap, like you've lost a lap. Like you're not getting that lap back. Even if there's a red flag, like there's no wave arounds. There's nothing, right? So like you have to be perfect, and sometimes you need a lot of luck on your side to do it. And I think that's why this race is like, well, probably loved and hated so often, is like everyone wants to win it, but sometimes it's just not yours. And I feel like the only thing that's somewhat relatable is kind of like the Indy 500. Yeah. Like people say it's like that race picks you, right? And I feel like this is very much the same, just obviously on a much different scale.
Well, hopefully it loves you this weekend, that's for sure. Robert Wickens,
Well,
thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So definitely tune in to the Nürburgring 24 Hours. What's cool about this race is it's streamed live on YouTube. You can just watch it the same place you're watching this interview. I'd certainly encourage you to watch it. It's, again, one of the great races in motorsport, and it's one that I am so honored and privileged to be in attendance for. Again, thanks to Hyundai and Bryan Herta Autosport for bringing me out to this event to share some of this passion. And if I can even share 1% of this passion that's here within this facility, I will have done my job, because there is so much excitement, so much passion, so many passionate people here at the Nürburgring.
it's a place that I'm going to have to return to someday. And if you haven't come here yet, you need to. Bottom line. And the story of Robert Wickens just kind of adds to the legend of this place. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube, and I will see you in the next video.